Last thing, for conduct, don't we just do it for homeroom, right?
You do it for all your classes.
Really?
Yeah. See, I saw you did it for homeroom,
Yeah.
but you didn't do it for all.
I thought it was just homeroom.
No.
Gotcha. Okay, I know what the problem is.
Alright, so our mission is through rigorous academics, high quality instruction, and character development. Memphis Merit Academy Charter School educates all students in kindergarten through 8th grade for success in high school, college, and life. The purpose of this meeting today is we're going to do our first grade level analysis to review and analyze our HMH ELA data. This should be done after each assessment so that we can see what correction action plans that we need to put in place to ensure our students are growing. How we're going to do it is utilizing our ELA data by reviewing and the summary and individual data to determine the top 5 priority standards that we were going to focus on. We're doing this, why? Because we need to prepare to reteach our lessons as they come. So today what we're going to do is we're going to analyze our data, identify the know and show, unpack some exemplars, determine the trends, and review the item analysis. What I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a handout that we're going to use. Also, if you look at the document that has the PD that was also sent in this morning, this is a part of the material, so if you don't like the hard copy and rather type your information in, you're more than welcome to use the computer document. What I do like about HMH does a lot of this information already for you as you enter it in. So I'm going to move to the HMH platform. So if you could, please pull up your HMH data. And it's if you don't know how to do it, I'm about to show you. Once you log into HMH, you go to reports. Once you go to reports, you go to class reports. And then you, for me, I have to select your name. So I'll pull up Miss Andrews. Now, for some of you guys, you did not take it under ELA. So you may have to click under the class that you took it under. Like Miss Andrews, she took hers under core. So hers is automatically selected under core. But if you need to select your class, you select your class. And then right here at the bottom, you're going to have all of the different assessments that they took. The most recent one that we're going to look at is Module 2, Week 3. And so you'll click right here where it says See Reports. Once you do See Reports, you will see all of your data right here.
I was week 2.
Now you had like, I didn't know which one to click because you had like 10 of them going on. So
at first, and then
you just kept re-putting them in.
But I didn't know it was doing it, and I don't know how to delete it.
So I went to the one where most of your kids took their data. You may have to click on each one of them for like if their data is missing, have to go to see if they took it under another test because you had so many tests enter in. So you want to make sure also that when you do the title, I did go on and print off your data. Now you're not going to be able to see the bottom portion of the data, but you will be able to see the top portion. For some reason when it printed, it gave me symbols instead of numbers.
Thank you.
I'm gonna text Miss Scott for my 2 that take it with her because it doesn't show on my end what they scored when she tests them.
Check and see if it's under another assessment.
Okay.
So go back to where it says back to assessment. and check to see if they took it under a different one.
See, they took week 2, but not, let me look at the one.
So yeah, she
Yeah.
probably gave them the assessment, she probably just gave them the wrong one.
Okay, I'm just texting.
And so, y'all do know how to turn it off where they can't no longer see it, because if you don't put an end date on the assessment, so let me show you how to do that. When you go to your assessments, go to Discovery, My Stuff, My Assessments. When you click on, I'm not gonna be able to do mine because I can't assign them. But when you click on the edit, you know how it has an end date.
When you click on edit.
Well, if my edit is already muted out, then it means it's closed, right? Like my edit is gray.
Yes.
Okay.
So, but make sure that the other ones that you have on there, they can't see it.
Okay.
So like all the other assessments.
Yes, yeah, both mine are gray now.
Okay.
You said
Wait,
loading.
Click right there. On there. Mhm. And what happened is you can't no longer edit it because they have already taken the assessment.
Right.
That's why the edit is
And
grayed out.
all mine have also taken the assessment too.
So when go to assign,
Chocolate.
go to assign and give it an end date.
Okay. Like,
So when you click on the sign, just give it an end date to close it out. So they won't see it on their
What
plate.
due date?
Yeah, the due date. So change the due date so that the due date is today. So that means they no longer can see it after today.
wait, how'd you, okay, so when.
Click on there and then go to assign and
Oh,
give it a
okay.
due date
Up
right here.
Already changed it.
Go to the assessment. Well, yeah.
and then,
Alright,
And then click on the sign.
know how to delete them, I can't delete them.
You probably can't delete them because they've already
but what
taken
if,
the
what if,
assessment.
And then just-
what if the child didn't take it?
No student submission.
They should still be, if you want them to take it, they can, don't give it a due date of
Okay, cause
today.
yeah, it's like,
Yeah,
like
if you
about
still want them to go in and take it.
yeah, it's about 3 people that didn't take it. Oh, this one is the week 2. I might just have to look at both of them and make sure and then do it.
Yeah. And so going forward, when you guys create your assessment, go on and give it a due date of when the kids should be able to see it, open and a close. So that way, once the due date is over, it's no longer going to be on the, on the student screen.
What if though they're not here that day? Can we go in and change it, like the due date?
Just instead of doing the due date on the day that you tested, give it about 5 days.
Okay,
So that
okay.
way, after that 5-day window, they should be in.
Right.
It'll close. So
Okay.
just don't close it on the day that you're taking the test. Give it about 5 days.
Okay.
I'm gonna give them till Friday.
Okay. So let's look at this handout, and then we're gonna be looking at your assessment at the same time. I'm gonna show my screen, and cause I want to show you some little things that I learned as I was just going through it. Going back to Miss Andrews, you first want to make sure that you're selecting the quiz that you want to look at. So we're looking at Module 2, Week 3. Here's her assessment data. What the system has already did for you was to analyze, like it told you, how many students was above, how many students are on level, how many students are below, and how many students that have not taken the assessment. It also gives you the breakdown of your item analysis. So it gives you the ones that the students did the highest on, and the ones that the students did the lowest on. And it even breaks it down, breaking it down by the standard. You can also click on the standard so it can give you more detail, and it will give you the item that the number was on and the percentage of it. Then when you scroll down at the bottom, you'll see each and every one of the students. You'll also scroll over to see all the items. You can click this View All Items button, and it will expand it for you. so that you can see all of them. So now let's go to this right here. This right here is already done for you on the report. So if you don't want to copy and paste that information, I'm more than welcome of you just printing off this part right here, the top part, and it's already done for you. So the top, this first sheet right here is already done, but you do need to complete the bottom part as a reflection for the SID. You need to talk about the trends that you see. One of your trends can be like, hey, all of my students took the assessment. If you had no gray areas. Some trends that you may see is, hey, I had 50% of my students who passed. Or, hey, I had 50% of my students who didn't pass. So I want you to really reflect on your data and answer that question at the bottom based off of your trends. Turn over on the back. On the back of this page, we're going to dive deep into your questions. So you're going to look at the question, the top 5 questions that students got wrong. Now, they only give you 2 on second grade. I think they only gave you 2. Kindergarten, did they give you guys 4?
They gave me 4.
4. And so,
you talking about the 2 low, the standards or the
yeah, the 2 lowest
standards or items?
standards.
Oh, 2.
2. And so you will have to find 5 of them. We do want you to pick at least 2 of them for foundational skills and the rest of them for comprehension skills. So we want you to, the lowest foundational skill standard and the lowest comprehension skill standard. Once you identify the question number, the first block is the question number. So if it was question number 3, you're just gonna put question number 3. How many students got it correct will be in the second box. How many students got that wrong will be in the third box. You'll write down the standard or what students should have known in order to get mastery. And then you're gonna identify the student misconception. Why did the students get that wrong? That's more of you having to analyze it to understand why they picked that answer. And then on the last sheet is what we're going to do. This is the correction action plan. So this is where you're going to be more specific about how you're going to reteach those 5 standards to basically address the misconception that students had. This may not be a whole group unless all your students missed it. If it was just a small group of students who missed it, then you'll select small group and you'll list out the student's name. What the system has already done also is they have grouped your students for you. So if you click the button, I'll go back to Ms. Andrews. Right here at the top, it says recommended groups. If you click that button, it has already gave you 3 different groups based off of how they perform.
So go back to that.
I'll go back to show you again.
And this is based on who took the test.
On who took the test. So if you have students who did not take the test, you have to make sure that they take the test in order for them to be able to group them.
So will the expectation be to reteach during small group when you're supposed to do the codable reading?
So not necessarily. You can do it during the do now. You can do it during the exit ticket, and it can be something specific towards certain kids. You can also do this when you do small group. You can group them based off of these, and you can address it while you are in small group. Or when we start our tutoring, this could be something that we're offering tutoring to students. When they're doing their independent practice work, you can pull them or give them a handout or another video that they can watch that's aligned to. It could be an iReady lesson that you assign them to do. Whatever it is that you're going to do in order to reteach it, it just has to be known right here. The date, the time, and how you're going to redo it.
Will the expectation be to reassess right after the reteach for their skill?
So you can reassess them Some of these same standards will come up again on the next standard. So you won't necessarily have to give them a whole new test. We're going to look at the assessment for the next standard to see if it's coming up. If not, when you create your new assessment, you can add a question that's aligned to the standard. You know how well, you haven't been able to do it, but because you guys haven't had access, but you know how we're able to add items on there? You can go back and add another item from a standard that they missed onto the assessment. So although it's not on like week 3 assessment, you can still go and give them a question that's aligned to it. Any other questions? Now we're gonna use the rest of the time to actually complete this form, and I'll walk around to help and assist you with anything that you have on here. But this would be what we would do each time after each assessment. All right.
So okay, so I'm looking at like, I see the group, and this could be for the second 9 weeks, my new set of groups, okay? But then I have these students who of course didn't take the assessment, so they would have to take the assessment to be grouped, right? So now I have to try to mention that on Tuesday, tomorrow, doing small groups, correct? So that I can get the data on them so that they can, and then they can help me now with my new group for the second 9 weeks.
And I'm pretty sure you guys already know those. You already know how to will. So right there, you have an option to add another group, and you can kind of go and read and put some input.
So they struggle.
So okay, this what is our right now suggesting?
No more than,
No more than 5.
or a standard.
Oh, the standard,
They put in their own.
so no one apply, grade
Oh, 4 groups, right?
Yeah.
As far as, from the paper,
Yeah, did they take that paper? That's what they did.
they did that, but some,
No, I'm gonna say something to this. How come Ms. Bird, did those assessments?
They're on the, because they made an absent Friday, so they're on the computer, so she can read it to me. Cause it's already
That's not what I'm saying.
And I think she does, I think if I remember my schedule, it's like, maybe the 8:30 time, I think so. But the other part of it is because I was being busy so many on the Friday, it became the class. You see what I'm saying? Like, I only had, like, 12 some seconds. I agree with you. Okay. Yeah, oh, yeah, yeah.
And they go right there, pick the wrong answer. It's putting the words to the picture. Because they take
so that would be.
What's your name?
So this part right here,
Yours.
your ideas are right.
I read this whole, and they got the picture. They have a picture with
You just
a lot of it be that comprehension.
No,
Look here.
but
You don't know?
Because it's and so that's, and we've been working on short data sound. Anything others.
Yeah, especially if it's not, if there's another one started with A, I was
Yeah.
in it, but it's like, why not pick that?
So I'm wondering,
Look.
I've been trying to work with oh, great.
What do you like to do?
Yeah.
Why the two is not group though? Go to the other assistants. Go to the other assistants.
Yeah, when they're doing that but short A sound, and they're gonna pick something other than A.
So you only created one assistant.
I feel like we're all times, they just, that's how it was last week.
And the other one is just
Just one more.
you can click on that number right there. It'll tell you, like, that'll help you if they go to. So that'll be that green group, and then you can add like right, and then like particular shit, they say like 60. What you have there? 23. So if you do 4 groups of 6,
Username, standard
5 or 6,
requirement.
then you can do like
I'm gonna go.
5 keys
I'm
each
trying to
group.
take a picture real quick.
4 groups.
Items,
Then after they go to right.
77%
But I don't know how we gonna do this.
of the students were proficient in item 1,
So
item 3, and item 5. Item 1, 3, 5,
Got the little
6,
perm done,
7,
little axle.
1, 3, 5,
So you got 9 students in your bottom.
7,
So that's, so you can break this to 2 groups.
and then item 8 and 10, you had 80, over 80% of the students.
Oh, wait, you good over there?
Yes.
On item 9 and
No,
10,
from like the 1 through 5 and 6.
that was 77%. Just wrong to that.
Why don't you just
Just say 77%.
Do you have students of what?
roll your chair? Roll your chair.
I put them as an action.
And then 80% of your students pass.
Yeah, let me go to the
I
side
know.
of town where the kindergarten says that they in here today, 8%.
Item 9 and 10.
80%.
Behind us.
83, 89.
No, I'm saying 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8,
What I am gonna do is eventually.
Oh, 70.
I know, but yeah, thank you.
No, that's 8. Right here, item
9, 10.
9 and 10 right here. 9 was 83, and 10 was 80. So
Yeah,
over 80% of the
I was
students
also,
pass.
for me, I also want to make this my
Why you gonna sit down, Michael? You said it.
Oh, this is 7,
I thought it was you drunk.
77%.
Because your ass white.
I just have to be.
Mr. Booker, for Mr. Banks, he can assign, but he doesn't have any keys.
Yeah, I fixed it.
Okay.
I linked them to, for some reason, when it's transported over from the school runner, it did not link them like it did everybody else as the lead teacher to their class. But I just went in and linked them both to their class, and I made it to where they only see their ELA class. You want me to do that for everybody?
Yeah.
But do you want me
Put it
to,
under-
do you want me to do that now though, or we need to know them on this? This was one of the things that,
This
I
is the-
said was, moving
But no,
forward.
right, but like,
In order for us to get clean data, we have to determine if they're gonna keep using their, does everyone know, does everyone know if they have, where you've been putting your, like giving your, assigning your assessment, are you using the same one, or could you potentially be, I put it in math one time, I put it in core one
I put
time?
all mine in core on that.
Okay, that's fine, so maybe we should keep yours on core, but you gotta remember that all year.
Now, some of them, they didn't have the option to select different classes.
I can go in now, I know how to go in and move them from the other classes where they only show up under that class, but I can remove hers to just be core, so she can just do the same one. The only reason why I'm saying this is, when we look across time, you wanna be able to see all of your tests, and I'm just asking if you might have put it, like one time, I think I put it under math, next time I put it under core. If you think that, then we can just start fresh.
Well, I know what mine is, I know what mine is, so I can, if we can take the other one off, it'll be beneficial, so I won't have the option.
You want me to take it off? Okay.
Cause like core for me is not what I use, I use down the ELA.
Yeah, I didn't know, I didn't see it. And I
So you
don't-
think we might put them on a different
It was
one?
in the sense of she- she kept adding tests, and so the kids received all of these different tests.
She wanna take the test away from the
And
kids.
she needed to delete the other tests.
I think you might have to log back out, log back in, cause I fixed it, what's on?
That's okay.
Okay, so yours is a whole different problem, I'm gonna get my computer for you. Can you look under my stuff and see if you have
You
those
said
tests
what?
assigned?
She got 4 students. But click on, click right here.
Mine says, then what else I'm supposed to get? Please. You gotta add the
I don't
items.
know.
I'm sorry, I got all my clicks down in terms of where I'm supposed to add items. Select the program. What you mean? You did that?
Oh, the numbers are different.
So now let's move our
And then,
What else?
what mine?
Right, above.
In the middle, me in the middle.
So we have three groups really. Your red, but I guess I see for me, like when I want to confirm,
Just in case it's work.
correct.
And, save it.
But this is my question. This wouldn't be out. I mean, that
Now what I do next?
Organize it right
And
here.
then save
You can do the
this
score
is-
button.
She was looking at first grade. My will.
Click on like the Henry to the same one.
And so that way, let's open it up so we can see the bigger.
They're sharing it with me, huh?
And now it
Let's
will
see
list
if I go,
everybody
I'll be ready to create one.
right in the score. And that way you won't have to, so everybody that scored 100, they will go in here. Everybody that scored 20 there, they will go in here. And then that way.
Good, I separated them all.
Or you could show the assessment over there, right?
Did you see how the organizer?
You know, back to the assessments right there. You
No,
know,
this is what I created. This is what I created.
Oh, you know, you can just go, you know, you can just go to, y'all not adding the ones that's already
Well,
created.
everybody
Oh,
took
but you have
it,
to go ahead. You
except for
just
the
go ahead.
one that's
So,
over here. I just didn't,
yeah.
like John and Mail went out from,
Okay. I didn't go like that round.
and then
but I
German
did
just
it.
So here, but you have to add the items though.
So,
Yeah, I just added them,
But-
let me
So I
add them.
see 17 students.
Let me
out of
add 'em.
23. So that's the way that you.
I'm just trying to get the bullet in where.
Yeah.
See if I can do it. Make sure she gets placed.
this is actually 16.
Okay, all right, that's- So here you go right here.
You got a little sign, got a little sign.
Edit actions. Here's the bank status right there. That's second grade.
But I got another big chair in my classroom. It's only going one week now. This one.
Let me see.
Which one you want?
Show me what your device is.
My. Okay. So if I add items.
But this is the more solid one that we had. Once we took care of the data.
And then we're gonna have to do one. We're gonna go one.
Because even that didn't know how to take it, but it was just our first time.
So let's say I need this one.
So that was just a trial, just trying to put
Assessment.
this one was.
I've got to go and add one.
Add one, just so we can see what it looks like.
And then go, and then down at the bottom. You say,
Oh, that's.
what we do that? You want me to do it?
Yeah, as long as they don't confuse you.
I can go into that. And then I can assign.
Oh, you know that, that's what she's saying.
So my really low one is,
So you can go on and identify that.
Yeah, that's the this way.
So you can put 300 people, this guy, right? And then for your trends right here, you can identify like your wins. Item 4 is a win.
No program.
Item 5, 6, 8, 9 is your students pass, and when you look at the question, it says which
Here
were
we go.
names and actions, so students can actually name.
so then put that on this side.
So
got 30 students left.
Is it true? Students can
And
actually
then,
do.
let's see, discover, you were under my stuff, assessments.
Cause they can also be okay. Another teacher,
It's
first
like
grade
not
struggle,
assigned.
can help them with, hey, this is what I did and
Yeah, she don't have
my
that sound.
kids passed this assessment.
She added to the class, it's gonna take some time.
Go.
To 1280.
Change it to,
The grade or whatever. And then click on whatever the module you want to go do. So we just say click on it.
That's what I did put A for phonics, cause I noticed
Save it done.
that they did better on the phonics and stuff on this one than the one we
not
first took.
already.
And then same, yeah, all the phonics ones, they all scored it up.
Finish each one.
I'm not gonna call, I got to get on the phone with HMH and call, but I did all the things on this side that show. Let me have a call for Ms. Banks, you log in yours to see if yours works.
So when you're identifying, because, you already identified that most of the ones that they got correct response. So then we start to look at some of the ones that are, they may not have like fail where they not going
And your
30.
kids see all of it, so they wanna take all of it. That's what they want.
Yeah.
I did mine in small, but I ain't or
Out
something.
of,
I know, if she got a bunch of them in there, does it show up like Master Connect, like the bunny say, take the test for them on their side?
Okay, now see,
So
this is what tells you.
Right click it and see if it'll let you delete it. I'll let you delete it.
and I'm gonna let you finish that one, I'll check out some of the.
Okay, like swipe, yeah. And then go, scroll down and go back to my stuff.
This is one of the two lessons.
Yeah, go back.
This is my question. So, I guess I don't wanna get too confused, but you know how some create the group, right? And like last our group lasts the whole 9 weeks. Like when we created groups, it lasts the whole 9 weeks.
You got these assigned.
Basically, because we're not doing like a math or another two-case assessment. The group will change weekly. Is that what we're doing? Okay, I just want to make sure.
But some of them still may.
Maybe the same group, right.
But yes, they will change weekly based off of.
Let me
They
go
well in one
and,
section, but they're struggling in
figure out,
Okay, I just
I'll
wanna make
back
sure
out, I'll
that-
back in.
I wasn't
And see
listening.
if, if yours will pop up, cause it should be no reason, cause you have classes now. Okay. Right now, they're just groups,
Mhm.
analyzing their data.
Yeah,
They
based on
should
this.
be analyzing the data, completing the chart, so they're grouped.
Yeah, like which ones, which standards are y'all looking at, like what standards or what
Yep.
field the students mastered it?
Yeah.
Cause we go here.
So this is the corrective action plan that they will complete based off of, like, when they're going to reteach the standard that was the lowest.
So instead of thinking, when we say reteach in this context, instead of saying reteach, you wanna think about what opportunities in your upcoming lesson. Like, that you're going to hit those skills. So like, example, like if you're annotating this week, and let's say Johnny messed up on the letter, foundational skills portion, and it was the letter A sound, you're gonna ensure that you annotated in the foundational skills lesson where he'll get that head back. Does it make sense? Because right now, they don't have time built into their day that we've set out for them to do a whole reteach, right? Because then they'll be wondering, what do I actually reteach? So right now, it is, so you're planning your this week's lesson. I'm looking for, okay, most of my kids mess up on the foundational skills, blending. So who is gonna get the ed back for blending during my foundational skills part? I'm gonna make sure those kids' names get called.
This is the important, when we get ready to do the lesson plan, it's okay, I'll make sure I call Brown, Lewis, Booker, Caldwell, okay.
Yes.
I
And
see.
then if it's cause in ELA, what happens is, you're not necessarily getting a new standard each week. ELA is,
Right.
it cycles, it's not like math. Math is a new standard and it's something different. ELA is gonna be pretty much like cycling, building the same thing each time. So if it's comprehension, what about comprehension? Even though the focus of the lesson might not be on central idea, you can ask the central idea question to this child to make sure they get that in back. Does that make sense? I just wanted to clarify that so that you all wouldn't, think about producing a different lesson. Not yet, Look, Ms. Moore. Now, Ms. Moore, let me go get, I'm gonna get Ms. Mitchell to get on the phone with HMH to figure out why your classes don't show up, even if I linked you.
I think Mr. Banks can see
You
his
see yours now?
kids, but he can't.
Can't assign. Okay, cause he got his class now. Let me find out Ms. Moore does something.
I wouldn't dare do such a thing.
Okay.
Why is it October 10th? Why is it October 10th? October 4th, October 10th was on fall break. Yes. I was going to say,
You missing the staff email. Okay, I got Ms. Mitchell to do that. So you have the assign button now, okay? So if you produce the assessment, actually, you know what I can do? I can put link, I don't know why yours ain't working up. I can put your class under him too, and him assign it for y'all. Y'all can,
Say that again?
I can let his assign be assigned for all second grade.
like,
Oh.
hey, guys,
That could
question
work.
It, but why
But
yours
then
not showing? It is working.
Oh, well, if he's gonna, cause I can just go to his computer and sign it.
That's what I'm saying.
Yes, because you got admin access. You see
So
what
I
I'm
will
saying?
be able to see the back.
Yes. Because what screen was you on before where he was able to see the classes?
They I didn't follow where AM.
That's my teacher. Your classes. But they, cause I thought I almost put you on his class at first anyway. Let's see, so this is his class right here, this is
The first one was
class
AM,
right here.
cause that's why I was, that's
So,
why.
the
Like,
after
you
school
know,
goes
right
there.
So when you get to this,
Kids under his
So,
30
so
kids.
that's the right answer.
Now, I can make you a team.
Like, yellow is the right answer. So AM would have been the right, so AM would.
So on here, I just went off like, so it showed what my two Welsh performing standards were, and then it told me what question it was aligned to. So like my lowest
Using who I
was
already had.
question 30, so I wrote 30,
My-
6 of them got it right, 13 of them got it wrong.
These six.
And then I just wrote like what the standard was, and then what they struggled with.
But this is the right.
That kinda told it all
Only
to
two,
me.
so two.
Oh,
The
what
last
they
one.
missed.
Okay. So this one, obviously, we're pregnant too.
What else?
It's showing
It was, it's,
I just
this one we're looking at.
So you say you a team teacher on his class?
Okay.
So that's what we're looking at right now.
Now, I need to do the same and see if he can.
So is this one?
Okay.
So do you think you give me a little sign button?
I think I need to just take you a whole nother
When
activity.
you go right here, just press this button right here.
Mhm.
But why, what,
And
did you
it'll
do
already
something
do
this?
the key.
Absolutely not.
So like everybody.
You know, I like books.
And you can right there, and it says
Let me see, second grade, we gotta be able to see it.
also,
Respond.
Antonio.
everybody did.
More, okay.
And so that's Antonio.
She is
And
second
all of those
grade.
things, and then everybody.
Let's
So
make
do we-
this the
I
thing.
didn't see that you got some colors.
Teacher on here.
Okay.
And then right
Alright,
here,
let's
just
see.
identify
Let's
the
see.
wins. Once you look at the data, what was.
All right, is this the test? It's on
Yeah,
your
back
back.
there.
Actually, 100% of my
You think?
students took the test, that's a win.
Right.
Y'all are so funny. Ms. Moore, come over here. I'm gonna delete this. I'm gonna delete it. What
I'm sorry.
you said there was something, I'm gonna delete all.
And then it was, so 12 of them got it right.
All right, so,
And then the standard was,
So
I
we- so
wrote,
we should-
so if you use singular or singular.
so my assessment, create,
Those are the ones.
and this is, which, what is this, module what?
Item one.
Module,
17%.
module 3, what,
One,
week?
25.
Oh, that's the overall.
So these
Okay.
numbers here, this goes with the item two.
Okay.
Okay.
Boom,
And then that way
all
you can
students,
just
that's
click
cool.
on the item to see,
and I,
like if you wanna see the question,
And what it was doing, they'll pull up the question. That's just a
Yeah.
quick way for
See
you
what
to
I'm doing,
see
Miss Banks?
Yes, ma'am.
see it on the.
And then y'all talking about
No, let's use,
my,
no, this is the original percentage and not the
Yeah.
necessary.
Week one. And then not the selection quiz, I'm thinking weekly, week one assessment.
And then, so what did they actually, so then I picked done.
Yeah, so then you gotta make sure though, that you add all of them, okay? So click add,
And show number 12, and then this will tell you what the question was. So like, James, yeah,
Which word we on?
and then,
so they struggled to find the noun to go with.
alright, so you got assigned for, so it was eight items when I looked at it first. So,
The answer, I will have to look at the actual question, so you may have to pull the assessment.
he can assign immediately, he can assign for the show up, it's when you want it to show up for the children.
What number?
Okay, so it might, cause you don't want them to
When you look at it,
We had that
assign me some classes,
Yeah.
I'm not here to say I
so
got
then
something
you
with
can
the
scroll
program,
down
okay,
like
program.
this to see.
Okay, I'm gonna fix this for y'all real quick, cause I want this to work,
That
right,
person
to be easy for y'all, okay?
Well, and a lot of mine are fun in the sun.
Oh, ain't gonna take that long.
That's what people say, like, having fun in the sun, and I have, like, if they got it on mine, they would pick fun, and I think that's wrong. Because they're thinking, Jan, fun in the sun. I was like, I get where y'all are coming from, but still, come on.
Okay, boom, now what else on, discover, my stuff, my assessment, this the one we just did, y'all, so let's see here, so assign, you can give kids some more directions. If you want to. And assign these, assign out, because this is on your demo class, but I don't want it to be.
And then you can go
Now, how can I
to
go from your demo class?
up here.
Why is it on there?
Yeah, on their screen, it has.
Oh, you already did that. So number 8. So number 8.
You don't need no demo class.
So I would just write in
But
that
there's
as number 8.
one, how many got it correct?
And then 12 of them got it right, and 6 got it wrong. And then number 8
What
was
was the actual step?
Yeah, my school.
See, this is where, okay, I need to ask them, because how do we see
We want to leave
the, like, standard for this one? Because it's not one of the highlighted standards.
Yeah, that's
You know
right.
what I mean? That's what I had.
So can we go to,
We can do a different one if you
Now,
want.
yes, you
So this is for number 11.
that you did every class.
And it's again nouns. So for number 11, 13.
Okay, did that show the TSC?
And 5 got it wrong.
You think you did?
And then you're basically writing the same
So we
thing.
would do this
Yeah.
every
Take off
single week.
the, delete his class.
I don't know what happened with him.
Yeah, delete TSC.
Clicking the and
Okay.
scrolling down.
And then to go to that.
Well, this is just on the computer,
But
they,
see,
they already
I
done it
think
like
the
4
reason why I
times.
want y'all to be on these school line
They got
classes,
customers.
they
This is
can
like-
roll,
Okay, so
you got one about that.
So then.
So they struggled to
It's gonna
identify.
be, yeah, now,
Yeah.
this is class.
Can our parent, grandparents?
Today, you ain't got nothing assigned.
See, that's like, we did our
That's
own.
what
It
we
just
can't
was
see the
different.
standards. I don't,
So like, I feel like in my class, I know I actually, although they can hear it, I still read the questions to them while they were in small groups.
because
So
that's
that
what I'm
they,
stuck on.
because it was gonna be difficult for them to see the first
My
time.
stuff.
So I read the questions to them as they were still
Do
looking.
you know how
at
to find the standards
So
on
these are
all
your
of
3
them?
options, and you choose the 3 options.
But it was just the first time.
It was the first time that they had, it was.
We did that. Let's see, what she
Says
did.
that you see.
You got to sign.
What are some things you want?
In the second.
You wanted to do immediately? Allow students to review assessment answers immediately, like if they get it, once they finish?
Oh, the answer.
Yeah, or it's one day after it's due, this is like, when do you want them to review the answers?
Does it make?
Most of them, I think, the boys too.
No submission, no
Because we
student
haven't talked
submission
about
after due
subject
date
and
and time.
Yeah, like we've talked about verbs,
Ms.
but
Brown,
not
what
like
was it?
the, yeah. Mm-hmm. That's why I was like, this one's kinda hard because we've talked about it now, so like for me, I probably would pick two of those are two now. So I see like, we haven't gone over that you have to have the verb and the, you know, all that. That's why I was like, that's kinda weird that.
So which one?
That's what, yeah. Like I get the rain and mud, like that one's, that I get the weather, but like like some of my higher scores got.
So I'm looking at the high percentage.
Is it the same standard though?
It's the high
I
percentage.
think it's different, because that's what.
So like, I would say.
Okay.
That's one of mine.
And this
That's just
one
gonna let them
would
see
be
it again. I don't hurt anything.
this one.
If it does, then we can always check that box, and I'm gonna hit the sign.
Or,
I look serious. Yes, and what I don't know is,
Oh,
but they know, like, we can get one of your kids thing and like click on there. I wouldn't click on their test because it's gonna start them, but I would just see if they see.
I'm saying we can write what they struggled with, like number 11, I'm writing they struggled
That's
to
what's gonna show us.
identify.
And like I said, you might just show kids what it looks like, tell them, you know, if it's with them in second grade, I would.
Yeah.
so these are one they.
Descriptions and, or description words like adjectives.
Okay, but we're doing five though, right?
Oh, preview.
Right, okay, okay.
Preview what it looks like. So I might show kids this, like, okay, just take preview so that the text, I would literally for the first time, I'm seeing the text is gonna show up on one side, and then your answer choice is gonna show up on the other side, and then. You can, I would teach them these things though.
Oh, we talked to you.
So, but this one was not read the last selection.
You read it to them.
How you know which one to do?
Yeah, it's, I don't know why you're it does read this one. But I don't know. Oh, it's on the.
So the ones that aren't the highlighted lowest
Okay, that's what it is.
standards, how do we see the full standard? Like I go to number 1, there's no way to get the full standards. You know what I mean?
So what you can do is use.
I would teach them this, so they can know, so they can know how to do the test. And we have to choose one.
So did you write the full?
Oh, you can.
I wrote it
I'm gonna
once,
show you.
but
You
it's the
can
final
actually
one.
click it without, click to the next one without choosing the answer. But I would teach them to make sure that before they go on to the next page, they choose an answer. And then when they get to the end, I would teach them.
Mine was 2, 1, 2,
Okay,
3, 2, 1, 3, 4.
made it to the end.
So mine was a lot of
Yeah,
combinations.
the answer for everyone. Does that make sense? And then, I think it took me back to where I didn't answer.
This one mine.
Okay.
So the one that you submitted to you, I don't know.
I don't know.
They probably.
That's what it looked like it did.
Cause that makes too much sense.
Cause it's showing me, if they don't have a
Okay,
red line on it.
so Tennessee.
Like I didn't answer.
Maybe I didn't see them.
Now this is.
Why would they put fan and fin?
So which part are they, what was the word, fun? So what you see is all of them start with the L and all of them end with a, N, so they're not understanding the, middle sign. So that's the misconception that they're missing, cause all of them have an L, they know, they hear, they understand the beginning and, ending sound, but they're struggling with the middle sound.
The selection quiz as a practice.
Isn't it on the like Department of
Yeah,
Education
you
page?
can, yeah,
And so that might be something that you wanna call out, especially with those students, that miss that component when you're doing foundational skills. You may wanna highlight those students that you call them who are missing that middle sound.
You know that. Tell me more. Like,
It wasn't popping up just online, so I downloaded the Department
See,
of Education, yeah.
my foundation skills is all first grade. That's what my high school was, but my comprehension is not.
But
And
it's those things that you can be able to.
That's what it says, identify.
So let's go to the question.
There we go.
That's the
What number is?
Like when I had,
That was the one.
That was the staff.
Right.
this is just gonna be, it's just gonna be that word. But, you know, you.
That's just the same standard.
But.
Item
there you go,
eight is, this is the
I
power.
might not.
Oh,
know.
And if you don't see it, then you may have to, can you share that, with them,
We
just to
have
make you know the
assignments
standard?
sometimes,
Where are you finding yours at?
but there's nothing that she make,
Your standards?
it's when she just pressing, you press it and it just
On
goes
what?
to,
But they're not breaking it down to let you know exactly what that
Right,
standard
right, right.
is. She's
I'm
about
gonna
to share,
email you guys.
she's about to email you.
And then
the
if you
document.
just command F and type in the little blurb it gives us, it'll give it right to you.
Miss Brown, I'm telling you, they know it. So, okay, so I have this, right, so I have my book, right? I'm looking
Can you
at,
email it to the kindergarten and,
To that little. Cause even if
second
you didn't
graders
sign
too?
in class,
She's
you
gonna
said,
email y'all the standard.
parents are,
So that you'll have,
extra.
then you know what those standards actually mean, but they're not.
Cause once they have
shared.
a badge, they
Oh,
can
yeah.
put it in the house, right?
okay, so I have the
So
four,
now,
right?
they don't sign. 'Cause I'm
Now,
not-
when I
I
go
don't wanna give too much.
really
I would
what's
mind stuff.
in here, I'm
Mine
looking
says,
at mine
and if you mess up like I.
foundational skills stuff was actually pretty high.
So yours.
So my comprehension was my biggest thing.
You should be able to.
So
see
how do
all
I
of it.
address it? Cause like, if I'm looking, you see this is like the top five, I'm looking at my, looking at here, all of these are around the same thing.
That's why I did
So I,
that.
we
before.
1, 2, 3, 4, so 1, 2, 3, 4, my top, my lowest, or my top 4 of the quiz. And then you can move on down to 5 through 6, 5 through 10, they pretty much a master those.
So then what you may want to look at for those foundational
But his
skills
assignment
where like
was up there
those
before.
eighth graders, you want to look to see if it's the same students that are missing that foundational, part, and what part of the foundational are they missing? So like when you look at that question, what is it?
That makes the foundational skills too is stronger.
Right.
But also, remember in kindergarten, in order for them to become full readers, we should see first, really, like their foundational skills get closed first. And then comprehension starts to close. Does that make sense? In theory, that's what's supposed to happen.
Cause even if they don't understand what they're reading, they should actually be able to read it.
That's what the first gap you're trying
Right,
to close.
right.
Is for them to become full readers, about reading mastery and without reading.
Right.
And then the comprehension piece is, that means they're understanding their read aloud.
Right.
When you don't read aloud.
Right.
They understand their comprehension question. This is also something that I would use for, like, when they're getting pulled out by their
Interventions?
interventions, it would be, I would.
If they're getting pulled out.
If they're
Because they
getting
may
pulled out,
not-
if a child needs to be pulled out, like, let's say you got a child here that's performing their foundation every time, and you know that they're working on letter sounds, hey, let's do it. This child not in this group, this child basically needs one-on-one attention for letter sounds, or, you know, they can go with their group, it's not gonna hurt them.
Right.
Especially
And then
when you,
if you
like, kindergarten right
press
now, it's
Command
coastal.
F and
But
type in
especially when it
what
starts
gives
to
you,
get
you'll
up there,
have
not
to
just
go
doing
search.
single letter sound. One letter after now.
We're
Yeah,
going
and
back and
then
forth,
so-
but we pretty much have done.
Which question are you, which,
With all the introduction.
Yeah,
stand for,
introduction,
which
now we're
question
doing
do you stand for?
sounds and all this stuff.
See, so a child is still messing up on letter
So
I.
you go to number 8, okay, it's one dot F, oh
So
my
that question was on T.
On T.
Okay, see how it says one dot FL,
Right.
PWR, students, okay, so then we'll go back.
Cause the rest of them are like 100, but like
Mhm.
this one, like what students are specifically
Right.
struggling with.
And that was a letter ID, like they couldn't tell you the letters.
What was it,
It
PRW?
was,
Yep, and then it shows right here.
And they're not in small group?
No, and it says first grade, no, and 5 grade level 5.
We worked on
So.
short eight.
That way you're not gonna be searching for it
Y'all
for
know,
12
cause you got
minutes.
this thing yet, so you have to look manually.
So these
But
just
you
really,
know, so you don't have to.
like mine.
it gave it to the sound.
Short, so.
Now
It's
that,
all about identifying those specific students.
They was in 8.
No, they put the T
So,
in
so
front,
those
'cause they
two
heard
would
the
be,
ending
say,
sound.
two students.
So it
would
Are you
be-
saying beginning sound and initial
Which would be
sound?
Bella and Amara.
Like the sound that you hear first? Kids mix it up a lot in kindergarten.
Yes. So.
And if they do the same
The words at,
Like here,
at,
And what's the question?
Just old school spelling?
What's the question that they have to answer?
they had to pick the word at, and it was 2 T words, and.
Choose the word.
As in recognition?
Oh, this is phonological awareness. So,
So,
you ask
Bella
them what
didn't
sound
get
do
the
you
T
hear?
sound, nor did she get,
first?
No, they had to
word,
pick the
that's
word
not word.
at.
I know,
Amara
but
got
the way
the
that they're
sight
going to
word,
get
but
that
didn't get
is for
the
them to
sound.
practice.
Beginning sound.
So if I say the word,
So I shortened mine.
The word was by,
what's the first
but
sound
the other
I
one
hear?
time was,
I write
the word was
then, I
by.
can see myself writing 3 words on the board. Apple, count, and 3. Which one of these words is apple? The one that starts with. What's the beginning sound? Which one of these words have the beginning sound that will say
So,
apple? But that's a continuous adverb. So they picked the T because they heard the sound T, but they didn't understand that it was first. The sound came first. It makes sense. A came first.
how
They
they
pick
attack
together.
that,
They
yeah,
put,
okay.
it was what?
This
no,
is just analyzing
It was
like,
like-
okay, what
Well, a lot of
you
them have
should do,
that.
these are the specific steps that we need to
no,
address.
no,
And
no.
then this is the reason why the
Where it is.
students are like, on this question,
let's
what
say where
was
it
this
is.
question? What
Right
is
here. It was the, to, and at. And they told you,
Look at the
But those are
picture
sight
as
words
you
too, though.
listen to a story.
Do you do any oral drill with them?
What is
and we
the
do speed
problem
reading
in the
with the,
story?
cause in our lesson is.
How many
Diane used to
students?
make many phone calls about a horse. Dr. Molly needs to bandage a horse's leg.
Yeah, that was a good
Julio finds a horse that was
amount of
lost
kids
and
that's
Even
still
with
listed.
this one,
So basically,
I don't
So
know if it was
the-
cause our first time on the
the
computer.
problem is, and all of them were a problem, but what's the
And they
main?
And they, what they had to choose the word that said back.
Back.
To me, they don't understand that when they hear what sound they hear first.
When prompting,
And
it's
then,
like,
I think they know the
Did you all
This
hear?
It's all right there. And so the problem will be that students can't comprehend read aloud stories.
that's 3, 2, and
Yeah.
1.
Mhm.
So that's gonna be the same steps.
He's probably the one that thought, because that's like Aaron, and then, so what number we need, 2?
So then how are you going to, in that first section, what were they struggling with?
Yep, there you go.
The problem.
So that one's a long one, I shortened it to demonstrate with teaching the English grammar. That's basically what it says.
What was the issue with the question?
And then what was the issue?
Cause I think we both have
heard
that.
them like they had
Because
headphones
they may
on.
not be careful, they may, they was.
To the
they
different
may
characters.
go
over,
but they may
they don't know
struggle
more
with
over
setting or major
before.
things. So you
I
have to
would
look
take
at those
those seven, who would the seven
questions.
kids
I'm
that
gonna
did
see
still?
what
Was it the
was
same
it
seven
in
kids
that
that
question
mentioned
that they actually struggled with?
Okay.
And I will go
Yeah,
as
it's 7 and
specific
severe.
as which answer choice.
That's where I shortened mine.
A, B, answer choice.
I don't know if we go to
I
that.
tried to see if there was a next. Like right there on the next question, it was the
All,
same kids.
everybody was at test.
Same kids, they probably don't understand.
Just saying, I'm just gonna say.
So, when what part of your communication is the part of your listening, where you're
That's the one, that's the one about the problem. Cause see, the main problem, cause it gives them
I would emphasize.
different scenarios in the story.
And all of them were problems.
So what's the overall word?
What letter, what's the beginning,
Yeah.
for that word, if the word is
How y'all looking?
A, what
Yeah,
sound did you
finish
hear
that,
first?
no, just this part.
What letter makes the sound? Yep. That's what those, it's the same way, they don't have that understanding, you can assume that they don't have that understanding.
Yeah.
Now, when you do the corrective action
Yeah,
plan,
so
you
when
may
you do-
want to
when you
pull
do
up
this
next week's
part,
lesson.
When
So
you do this
can
part, your foundation
identify
students, I
how
will write their
we're looking
names.
next week's lesson.
On this part, they gonna be the ones that all ahead of it. Even if I had to make up me another word.
When I start,
I should've brought my book in here. I'm so glad I have a book now.
this is what we have, we have,
So students who struggle with context school and finding the meaning of the word.
Okay, listen, when you, have you already looked at your test for the test?
I'm gonna go go see if they even cover conferences.
So they're gonna be tested like this again. So that's, let me see, this was probably asking,
Each student,
choose the word man, choose the word no, choose the word.
Cause now you're gonna be more specific in this who the students will be.
Oh, yeah, that can happen.
So now you're
With-
actually
with
listening.
intention.
I think the 13 students that they know.
but you wanna know what grade, right? You wanna know which one is chosen.
So it had to be 13 students that I know, like how many before these 13 students? I could say group one, then I have these, I can do group two, and group three. And then based off of those are going to be in those individual groups.
Okay.
But then at what time, so that's when you're more specific of like, okay, lesson 3 focuses on content.
But that's why I'm trying to also do it in morning meeting, so we can use those, like you
Oh, yeah, you put y'all real sight words in there.
That's what I do. I go to every grade level and say, hey, what's our side words?
And that can be a part of the correction action plan, like, hey, if we're gonna do it in morning meeting, if that's gonna be a focus, you can do that specifically, and that's a part.
Okay.
And then just be more specific on the correction action plan of what
Yours,
students
your
you're gonna
curriculum
call.
makes you do stuff,
Okay.
that's not. Yeah.
Just say foundation, I don't do that.
They don't, I don't
What
think,
we would.
not yet, because they focus so much at first on ID. Here's something else too, you gotta make sure that those 7 kids, when you going over sight words, they're looking at the words, not like, damn, like those 7 kids have to look at the word.
Yeah, got to.
And so how can you
Like,
fix
Jonathan
it?
said, so give me your eyes, the word is, and if you don't make sure anybody else get it, you gonna make sure that those get it, that's what I mean by write the names of who. So like, during your foundational skills time, you're gonna be zeroing in
And
on
so show
them,
them,
make
show
sure that they
themselves
know.
like, hey,
and but especially for the same kids, so they really don't know it, they missed it twice. See, now you can see, to me, if I was your parent, if you told me your child, I noticed in the last week's, visit, your child, missed the week sight words, you had sight words in there,
Yes.
or you could just put it in what's the name, they need to at least know their sight words. Yeah.
Okay, which day?
Where'd it go?
so,
What's the name? Oh, wait, no, that'd be Thursday, so.
What we also could do too is make sure that when we send homework taken home, put into place, put it in the newsletter and put it in the homework paper.
But I would say if Fisher was in my class, she's not like, parents are trying to improve our assessment grades this week. Please make sure your child knows these sight words.
See, that's what
then
we're
they're not able to identify,
home, and that way,
you know,
we don't do a
they're not
study
focusing.
test like that,
So,
but
this would be,
I'm saying like every Friday, we just need the children
but
know
they're
that's
not focusing on what the characters,
I'm saying
they're
parents
not
are
focusing on what the
you have to
characters
put
are
some of that
actually
in
doing.
there.
on them.
You reading it,
Around like,
Yeah, that's what, I saved up all my money in high school for 5 days, I still have it. I mean, the thing literally, like, I don't know how long it was,
When they ask you a question,
I saved up all my graduation money, all my
you
money. I worked at St. Jude's, I saved up like every paycheck to buy a house. And then I thought I was so cool to walk around.
So we're doing ads,
It's in my Apple computer.
Right,
like,
like,
so back into the text to find out. They're just reading it one time. Off memory. So now you have to teach the skill, because the misconception is they don't understand the difference between different words. They're not going back into the text to identify explicit details of the concept.
So they can know, to make sure they know.
What does KID?
It says ask and answer questions about key details of the text.
See, that's what it is, they're not, that's what the
And with
standard
you, where
says
you
for
in
them to
your
be able to
second
recall
grade,
key
they give it to
details.
them as a.
So students don't understand key details.
Yeah,
So how do you make sure that you know, hey, when they give you an answer, you're not just taking any answer, go back into the text
Fourth grade,
and
all
give
grades, they
me
give one to you.
the,
Cause they still focus
textual
on
evidence
them being
that
able to
supports
sound
your
out the words.
answer.
Right now, they still on.
Cause that's what they're doing right now, they're just giving you an answer, but they're not going back in the text to find supporting.
See, that's what I said, I'm doing.
Especially if it's what they gotta know by the end of the week.
Yep.
And so how can we fix
But this
that
gonna be on the
going next week? So now
That's
that
extra work.
you, when they ask you questions, you're coming back with a rebuttal, like, okay, I'm not gonna tell you if that question is right or wrong, but go back into the text and show me where you got that in. And so now you're teaching them the skills of after I read it, I go right back to the text. I ain't told you what to get, go find it.
I thought you might have known already. I thought you might have known.
Even with this one,
I don't think that's, turned it over. It's still for the
dog hurts the sheep.
fourth grade. Then you get one.
What does the word hurt? So,
Is it the,
I
is it
don't
the?
got it correct, but
Okay, maybe it's not, okay.
I don't know.
Okay, I go for it. You want me to be a parent for you?
what standard is this?
oh,
Oh,
this one,
what's
So-
CS for?
understand what this one.
CS for?
CS4? Is it one F or CS4?
One RI.
One R.
Number 12.
It's use singular and plural nouns.
So they don't know the difference between, plural and singular. So these are things that you have to enforce in the class, like, hey, when we see a word that has an S in it, it means that it's more than one. So when we look at it, like, hey, this is listening to the sound, understanding what
Just right, it says with the standard.
because when I look at the word,
Guidance to demonstrate understanding
I
of
know
word
it's more
relationship.
than one. So even if I didn't know what word,
So they don't
I know that
understand
it's a
what the
core word, it means more than one.
The ones that did it all wrong, it still has the verb, there's a plural verb and plural subject. Like, they didn't pick A, they picked C. I don't understand what they did wrong.
Cause they also didn't know what the meaning of the word means, so that means they're not understanding context.
I don't agree.
Y'all should do the opposite. Call it.
No, so I did, I did say the second week, so I'm gonna make sure I get them a list of like 5 words. And then, yeah,
Absolutely not. 10.
even in kindergarten,
Absolutely 17.
I got kids who say they ain't write their name.
This might be true. That'll be one of those.
Alright guys, this session ends at 9:50, so, by 9:50, you should be finished with your, data analysis form. If you could make a copy and give me, a copy, and you keep it so you'll know when you're going to reteach it. From 9:50 to 10 o'clock, you're going to take your break. And then, K through second, you guys will meet in CBU with Ms. Green to go over science.
Science.
I know you love it.
What is that?
No more kids. See the kids.
And then you guys will go to lunch from 11 to 12, and then you will meet me, in UT Martin after lunch at 12 o'clock.
Where's UT Martin? Who plays this?
Miss Ward.
Miss Ward. Miss Ward.
Freeze.
Miss Brown Lewis, do we have access to see? Has nothing to do with this, my question. Do we have access to see who has signed up for parent teacher conference?
Yes, I can share.
What about the
Do I use so they have here or do I? So if you're looking specifically, because remember these are the same 5 right here, you're looking at the ones like the 14. So like this is the first one. What were the 14 students that missing, and how can I group these 14? They may have grouped them, but they may have grouped them over the whole
Yeah, it does,
law.
so that you can turn that into.
But you're grouping them based off of being specific about this standard that you're going to have to, redo, so. Press the score button, so like if you press, this button right beside it, it'll organize the students itself. Yeah, so that's item 1. It should have 1, so everybody that has a 0 right here, those are the students that did not pass, so it should be 14.
to the party games?
This arrow right here will organize the kids, so you can press it. If it's going up, it's gonna organize all the people that passed first, or all of the ones that failed.
Okay.
So all these students, and you can group them in 4 different ways.
So by
Or
clicking
however you, want to.
and it should pull all the ones.
And that's based on this data.
So yeah, so Faith.
And then how are you going, cause this
Naya.
is right here dealing with KID 2. So that's pumpkin, but this one was more for students.
Those are 5.
What number was that? Number 1? So number 1 was focusing more on what?
Probably in the students of order, we
What
identify
was the
characters.
question actually?
Number 1 question was, here right here.
What is the problem? in
Number
this?
1 is what is the problem?
So
Dad has to
students,
make many
no, that's
phone
item
calls
2.
about a horse.
Oh.
That's not the right kid.
Dr. Molly needs to bandage a horse's leg.
That's the wrong test
Well,
frame.
that's
That's
what
on
it's
one.
That's the one that he took,
That's
so
what
that's the
it
one
is.
he analyzed.
No, this is.
No, that's one, big one.
Where did they go?
I'm sick of this.
So the question was, why is Jack sad?
Because he lost his chapter, they went up under the head and all over.
So this is more about the characters, analyzing the characters' feelings. So the students on this one, not struggle with comprehension skills, but the comprehension skill that they struggled with was the characters' feelings.
Somebody really small.
And so you have to be more clear about it. So then, now, when you can look at the lesson that you're teaching this week and see if characters are going to be addressed, and just your questions now will be geared more toward how is the characters feeling? And how do you know that? What words identify him feeling sad or what happened? You're creating questions around the character's actions and feelings, and helping them to identify words around to show like, okay, the character is doing this, and I know he's sad because of this. But you can look at this week's lesson and identify, hey, can I do that in small groups, or can I do that in the whole group read aloud? If you do it in whole group read aloud, then just be specific on who you call them out. And then, you know how you have sticky notes? Like, hey, for the sticky note, this is the question, these are the students I'm gonna call. And, in our section that we're doing
In the,
later on, you know, the aggressive monitoring tool.
yeah, so like I put,
Before,
for mine, like I put, I'm gonna tie context clues to ask and answer questions.
yellow.
So like I
sticky
didn't
notes
put
are
like a
those students right
specific,
here.
like I just know we're going over ask and answer questions, so I,
This question, so it can be
so I
more
tied number
specific.
3 to that, so we're done.
It's one, I can't see one.
Okay. But anyway, getting on here,
Well, so it shouldn't be hard for you.
I don't remember.
When you
The
gonna
17th
teach
is
it?
Thursday, so
that's
yes,
same
the
thing.
18th is
So like, what was the first question, item number 10?
I got
Or, like, she just did item number 1, that was item number 1.
How many you got you?
And so, you know, specifically, students were struggling with character feelings.
Saturday.
But that ain't gonna work because I'm breaking these down just
That's
for
what I'm
this
saying, 'cause that's what it wants them to do.
Yeah, yeah.
So do we choose the one that like, I probably
Around there.
choose this question to make sure I target
All
all of it. Right, and then I can break that target, well, most people got it,
And
Well,
these 3 right here
are
are
the
pretty
same.
much the same standard.
yeah, but yeah, so that we focus on the standard, and just have the different groups for that.
Yeah.
Okay,
But I would just look at like this
What the
question to
question.
see like what is it, and then look to see if these are the same students.
okay.
Like if this 7 may be the same
Well,
12.
yeah, I know that is, but
These 6 may be the same
for
12, so
sure.
it's the same standard, but the same people.
Right, okay, yeah, because we're all, because no,
Yeah, I'm
right.
not up here. Like, I will focus maybe on these 2, because they were your highest ones. I would look at this one too, but kind of, these 2 are the same standard, and they probably are gonna be the same key. This, all of these are the same, so it's the same standard. I'm sorry.
What's going on?
No, so all 3 of these are the same standard, so if you want to analyze them down and you do them, you want to use the same standard. But just, hone in, like, what was question 3? Was it still
Oh, the number, one dot FL dot SC dot 6. Did you have them before?
So the lesson that was learned, so now when you're reading questions or you're reading your stories,
Or here,
that's
X
when
and
the question you need to establish, what was the lesson that you learned from this? And remember, we talked about the difference between the topic and one has two, and one is the lesson that is on. What was question two? Okay, so can students identify the problem and identify how to solve? So to identify the question that you're gonna specifically ask, that's a line to it. So, hey, how was the character feeling? How do we know the character feel? What key words let us know that he said? And this one was, what was the lesson? How do we know that? This one was, you said, what was the problem? How was it solved? So those are questions that you're gonna continuously ask during all of your stories this week. But these are students that you're gonna specifically call.
One line,
No,
yeah.
you said high frequency?
Yours were the same questions, question 3, struggle, my students struggle with understanding.
So did yours is 1, 2, yours is 1, 3.
Fine, that's a good one. Yeah.
So your highest was 1 and 3, which was
Right, your
the same
story is
standard.
coming
So
along.
I would
Get organized.
you doing your first section. And it's pretty much the same.
It's
I don't know.
You on board. Good deal, good deal.
I don't wake up.
But this thing, I correct the test, we were all sitting in there.
Or until Amari gets here.
I don't know. I don't know,
Well,
I
one
really
good
don't.
thing,
Me too.
TFA was so much that drill that. Looking at this from like with this to
And so that's the same question that I would ask. The way they put it, most likely is gonna be the same way they ask it. Use that same question.
So tomorrow's the 14th.
But just ask more questions.
Today's
So
like,
you make sure when you read one, what is the lesson that the story is?
well, we went to dinner last night at like Oaks Bowling. It was really nice, so, yeah. Oh, really? Yeah, that's the best, when you don't gotta wait behind.
Now you can go on and assign your assessment that's coming up in there, so you won't have to worry like, hey, did I put the assessment in?
Yeah, Miss, I have to assign Miss Booker, I have to assign her with, all of her making assignments from Miss Banks. And so I can't assign from my account, I have to assign it from Miss Banks' account. Oh, I don't know, that's all they got to work. That's all the work she got to work.
So your assign button never came up. And see, his assign button came up, but he had no kids.
So now he has all the children.
Exception of one.
Yes, cause he has 20 on there, she got 29. Not
So
sure
we
we
gotta
got
find out who's his. And, you just gonna have to share your data.
But Miss Booker saying I should have, she out of that. I just
Do y'all understand how it's the flow of the sheet? Or y'all wanna revisit this one?
We'll probably review it next week already.
Yeah.
But
This part right here is just, it's already done for you, and the thing you just identify, who exceeded, who met, approaching, and below. And in this part, you're looking at the data overall and identifying your wins. What did you do well that was shown in the data? Based off of, hey, I had 100% of my kids that took the test. That's a win, you know. Item number one, 90% of my students passed. Then it was specific, yeah, what did item one talk about? And that's something that you really did well. On the back part, you identified 5 questions that did not do the best
Like,
one. And you're, right here, you're writing the number, like if it was item number 1, number 6, number 7, number 10, you're just writing the number down. How many of them got it right? How many people got it wrong? And looking at the standard, what is the standard, what students should know? And then, why did they miss it? Like on theirs, the question was KIE 3, which focused on character setting, and those, but the question specifically, one of them was identifying the character's feelings. So it may not be that they're struggling with setting, although the standard
check for
identifies the
understanding.
character setting, but in this question particularly, students were struggling with the character's feelings. And then on this one, this is just talking about how am I going to reteach you? So those same 5 questions I'm gonna put over here. And for them, they had 3 questions that was the same standard. So they just wrote this one standard down. They grouped the kids and they're now coming up with a plan of how they're gonna be retaught with your lesson that you're gonna do this week. So they're gonna focus more on the questions that they're asking. So in every single question, they're gonna be asked, in every story, they're gonna be asking like, hey, how is the character feeling? How do you best? Because based off of these students, and they're gonna be particular about who they're calling. So I would excuse you guys this time. And I tag you in,
I was just about to say, that's a nice healthy shirt.
My God.
he wanna get punched already. But that's what you'll do for the next one. Yeah.